Kicking off the count tonight is a story that resonates with many of you at home. Story number 10, the American Dream. Now, for the first time, Virginia will soon elect a woman governor on Tuesday. The rare two-women contest is between Democrat former Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger and current Republican Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earle-Sears. Even rarer is Earle-Sears' ascent to the nomination. Nationwide, only 6 black Republican women have run for governor since 2020. And Earle-Sears, the first one to win the party's nomination. Joining us now is one of those women poised to make history once again, Winsome Sears. Lieutenant Governor, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be with you, and we're going to do this come this Tuesday.
You are such an inspiration. You really are. You're an immigrant from Jamaica. You were raised in my hometown of the Bronx. You became an American citizen while serving as a Marine. Can you tell I'm from the Bronx? I know you got that Bronx in you as well still. Now, some Democrats, they say that the American dream is dead. And that's why I wanted to call this segment with you the American Dream, because you are the perfect example of the American dream being alive and doing very, very well.
Yeah, the Democrats would like you to believe that the American dream is dead, because then they get to swoop in on their horse, riding in to save us. And we don't need that. We need them to get out of our way as black people. I mean, who died and left these black Democrats in charge? And by the way, all Democrats, in fact, we just want to be left alone so that we can accomplish. And, when you're looking at someone whose father came to America with only $1.75, and then he came and got me, and now here I am, second in command in the former capital of the Confederate States. That tells you America is a great country, and I didn't do anything special to get here except stay in school and study.
You give me goosebumps. You really do, especially for women out there. You built a life rooted in faith and service and family. You're the first black woman lieutenant governor. Yet many prominent black leaders, actors, they've been critical of you. They've not endorsed you. They don't praise your achievements because you're a Republican. You got Obama. He's campaigning for your opponent. What do you think about that double standard and that kind of hate that you get, the animosity from the black community simply because you're a Republican?
If it weren't for double standards, they would have no standards at all. And yet I'm the one who is able to say to the children, look, I am here. You can do this. I'm not even from this great country. And that means if I can do it, you can do it. And you can do even more. You can actually be president. I can never be president. Can't even be in the line of succession. And so if there are people who like to continue to fight the Civil War, that's what they're doing. They keep those old wounds alive. They keep picking at the scab, and they never let it heal. Because if they can say, look, you see what these awful people are doing to you? We will never have anything unless I am elected, and you need me to continue to save you and to vouch for you. Then, we get what we get, unfortunately. And that's what they're afraid of with my win, which we're going to win. They can't say Republicans hate immigrants, which we know that's not true, because here I am. I was nominated by the Republican Party, the party of Lincoln, and not the Democrats. But of course, I had to win my own race, and that meant I had to convince everyone to, consider voting for me as lieutenant governor.
The very people that the Democrats claim to protect with their policies are the ones that are actually hurt the most by their policies. We see that across the nation. Why do you think that is? And what do you think it'll take for more black Americans to wake up and realize that they're being played? They're being played by the Democrat Party.
Yeah. I think enough of them realize it now. And frankly, there were enough that realized it when I first ran for office in 2001. And I won that seat. I won for the House, our House of Delegates, in a 58% black, 62% Democratic district. And I ran as a Republican. I only had 3 months to run. But I believe, I'm a woman of faith, and we pray, and we believe that God's will be done. So we convinced enough people then, and we're going to do it again. I left politics 20 years ago, and I'm back again. we're going to do this. We're going to do this really for common sense ideas, which is, it's not race specific. It's not gender specific. It's simply this, that if you want to keep more of your money in your own pocket, we're going to keep your taxes low. My opponent, Abigail Spanberger, is going to raise them. If you want to be safe, elect me, because my opponent, she voted for open borders. Fentanyl came across the border, child trafficking, and all of that. She wants to have a sanctuary state here. She's soft on crime. None of that works, whether you're a Democrat, Republican, or independent. And then, of course, we're creating all these jobs. I mean, we just had a company, we announced $5 billion coming to Virginia. But they're not going to come if we don't maintain the right to work, which means that you're not forced to join a union if you don't want to. It's about freedom, and it's not about the next 4 years, frankly. It's about the future of our children and our children's children. That's what it's about.
What do you think matters most to voters in Virginia? There's so many issues happening,
Yes.
and polls are showing that you're lagging behind. If you could say something to that voter that's still undecided or not making sure that they're not sure 100% they're going to go out there and vote, how important is it for people to go out there and vote, make their voice heard, and what do you have to say to them?
Actually, this is a neck and neck race. I just saw a Democratic poll. Of course, it was a Democrat poll because they're trying to make sure that my voters stay home. That says I'm 13 points down. You know who doesn't believe that and knows better? It's Abigail Spanberger. That's why she's bringing in all the names that you're mentioning. Why would she do that unless she were actually 13 points ahead? So, this is the same nonsense, and the media keeps eating it up, the legacy media, and that's because they want Abigail to win. I can't imagine a media that's so dishonest. So we're going to win because the people, again, my opponent voted against parents' rights because she voted the parent not knowing if the curriculum is being changed to some political ideology, voted against parents know if there's violence happening in the schools, voted against knowing whether the children were reading and doing math, etc., on grade level by the time they were in the 3rd grade. So that's not a Black problem or a white problem, Latino, Asian. That's an everybody's children problem. So my policies will lift everyone, whereas Abigail's policies, well, they only help a certain segment of the community and apparently later for the rest of us. And when it comes to political violence, she said that her supporters should let their rage fuel them. Fuel what, Abigail? Haven't we had enough political violence? Unfortunately, no. And then she sold us out for $150,000 when she took money to redistrict Virginia, when she said she wouldn't. So you can't trust her. And if she would do this in the light, what will she do behind closed doors? Abigail Spanberger is for Abigail Spanberger. So she's wrong for Virginia.
Well, good luck. Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earle-Sears will be rooting for you come Tuesday. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Prayer is not luck.